Okay, but then the fact that because I noticed you're going to like the standard ones that Trinitarians go to, but since you mentioned that one in Genesis 19, if we so you said about the Yahweh rained down fire from Yahweh out of heaven. So who was
Yeah.
Yahweh on the ground?
You mean who is Yahweh on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the revelation is how would I call it? Is step by step. By the time the scriptures were revealed to Moses or revealed to Abraham, I'm very sure the is not complete. Jesus brings the complete revelation. So first, I wouldn't just back up and say I wouldn't cop out and say I don't know, but the fact of the matter is that it has shown the multi-personality that so it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter even if it is Gabriel, even if it is whoever, but the fact is it has shown you a multi-personality already that there is a Yahweh here on earth who Sarah talked to. Abraham talked to him. When Sarah laughed, Abraham said, forgive her, Lord, but she don't know, she knows it. So if I don't want to say I don't care who it is, but no matter who that is, I know that is the next step to find out who it is. But the fact is, it has shown you the multi-personality of God. So when you have established that fact, you very establish that first, and you can now move on to read the scriptures later on from Paul, from the rest of the apostles to know who that person is. Because Jesus said in himself that no one has seen God except the Son who choose to reveal him. So all the instances where they have said the prophet saw God, they said this saw God. Jesus now came and said, no one has seen God except the Son. So every instances where the are prophets and unless you want to say that the Old Testament contradicts the New Testament or Jesus contradicts the Old Testament, that is when we can have that argument and you fall out of the line of Christianity. But if you believe that the Bible is consistent and Jesus comes in and said that no one has seen God except the Son who choose to reveal. So that would mean that every instances that the prophets and that was recorded that they saw God or they encountered God. So that is the Son that they saw. So we start from the very first fact that okay, the God is not a person that it has been shown. So now to come and find out who is that Yahweh. Now Jesus has told us that no one has seen God except through the Son. So now we come to the conclusion that wherever we find a place where the apostle or the not the apostle, the prophet that is recorded that they saw God. So that means they are seeing the Son. Because he said no one can see God. I think I sound like a broken record now. I think you get my point.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So what are you doing? You're repeating the usual things. But let's finish off this Yahweh, because I know
Before you
no, the Trinitarian.
please before
Huh?
you are telling me that I keep going to this. Do you want me to go to the Quran or to go? I'm going to the scripture, the very first book. Where do you want me to go? Is there a book like that starts before Genesis? I go to Genesis, you say you are going, these are the ones. Like, this is the very first book of the Bible, and you are going through it. Then where do you say this is where you Trinitarians like to go? Where do you want us to go again? Do you want us to go to the Quran or we should go to the Hindu books? We are going to go to the Bible to prove the our case. So this the only comeback you guys always that I always have with the Trinitarians is you guys always say, you guys like to go to this. Where do you want us to go before? We are going to the scriptures. So this argument of you guys like to point out the scripture, then deal with it. If you say we like to point out to the scripture, then deal with the scripture as the scripture say. So not just say you people like to go to this place, then deal with it. If you say it's not, then deal with it.
Hmm? Okay. No. I think you're a bit close to the microphone because it sounds a little bit distorted. But I was just going to say because Trinitarians like to bring up this Yahweh in heaven and Yahweh on earth so much. I think this would be a good time to like deal with that one. So this is Genesis 19 and 12. And he says, And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. So there you have your answer, finally, to all the Trinitarians out there for who the Yahweh in heaven and on earth are, and it's just the two angels. So finally, that one's sorted out. So now you can't use that one anymore.
No, it's not sorted out. Because if you say it's sorted, that means you are saying that Abraham called one of these angels. You will say that Abraham committed blasphemy, because these angels, when they got to Abraham, Abraham called them Lord. So one of these three angels it was called Lord. So that just also even instead it proves my own point. He said the Lord sent us. So if the Lord sent us, that means one of those three angels is also the Lord. So that is the multi-personality of that Lord. Because if you go back to the previous chapter, when the angels came, Abraham told them that they should come, he washed their feet, he gave them food to eat, and he called him Lord. And he spoke to him and he said, Lord, if you spare. So it's not sorted out, because you are saying, okay, now what you are saying is that these three angels now, that they are sent by the Lord, so therefore they cannot be the Lord. But if that is argument, that means the Bible is, you will make means of the Bible. You put the scripture against scripture, because in the previous chapter, Abraham called her, like I can see in verse 17, and in verse 17, you will scroll, like I can see there, said, and the Lord said, so Abraham was speaking to the Lord. Those three angels that came down, one of them is identified as the Lord in that verse
Yeah.
17. So if those people are not saying so it just is actually proving my case that yes, one of those three angels is the Lord, and there's another Lord that sent them. The Lord sent them. So it only proves my case, because Abraham already identified one of those three angels as Lord.
Yeah, but what's happened is that all it means is that Trinitarians are just misunderstanding what they're reading, because you have to take what you're reading and presume it makes sense. So this is Genesis 18:22 says, And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. So obviously Abraham knows who the Lord is, because he says the men, so that's talking about the three men. And he says, And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? So of course we know
But
what
but
Abraham.
yeah, but he didn't say the three men turned their faces. He said the men. So he didn't
Yeah.
mention how many turned their faces. So now you just read into it. So that's why I say you have to read it carefully. He says the men. He said the men
Hmm.
turned their face, and Abraham stood yet before. So now he stood before. What does that mean? That means right in his presence, in the presence of Abraham, because he was not. Abraham didn't climb a mountain, or Abraham didn't ascend to heaven to speak to the Lord. He said right there on earth, as he stands, he speak to the Lord. So if the men turn their faces from there and go, and the Lord remains, so he didn't tell you that the three of them. He told you that three of them came. Now,
Hmm.
yes, saying the mention like Abraham. So now you read with understanding, with sense. With sense. I don't know if you understand. He didn't say that the three men turned their faces. He said the men turned their faces, but Abraham, but he said, what do you say? And the Lord appeared unto, okay, you scroll past that place. So you see, you
Hmm.
don't just say that this is what you have to, if you don't, let me just tell you this. If you read the Bible the way you just explained it now, you are going to turn. That's what push atheists and some other people agnostics away from Christianity. Because if you read the Bible the way you just read it now, it's contradictory. Because first of all, when those three men, the very first time, Abraham already identified one of them as Lord. So now he told you that the men rose up and they went, but the Lord stood before Abraham. So what does that tell you? That among those three men, So one of them stayed with Abraham, while two went to Sodom and Gomorrah. And if you go to the later verses, after Abraham finished talking to the Lord, he said he also went to Sodom and Gomorrah. So those two went before the Lord. So the Lord was there
Yeah,
speaking to Abraham, that Abraham left.
yeah, yeah,
Then the Lord left Abraham. Then
yeah. But here's the thing. So the reason why you're saying all of this is because you're trying to defend the Trinity. But this is the point. Is let's put the Trinity to the side and just use common sense. And so at the beginning, it says Genesis 18:1 says, "And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, three men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant." So he knows who the Lord is out of those three men. So if we go down, it says in 16, it says, "And the men rose from up thence and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way." And so he went with the men. And then if we go down to 22, it says, "And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom, where Abraham stood yet before the Lord." So what that shows you is Abraham knew who the Lord was. And we saw at the beginning it was three men. So now if we go to verse 19, sorry, chapter 19, and then 12, and well, let's see, so verse 1 says, "And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom." So since it says two there, we can presume that the Lord didn't come down, but sent two of the angels. And therefore, if we then go down to verse 12, oh, sorry, 13, it says, "For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord." So that's the one of the ones who was there. "And the Lord has sent us to destroy it," which is the two angels. So because they have the authority of the Lord, that's why when we get further down, it's the authority that the Lord has given them to destroy it. Why you can say Yahweh rained down from Yahweh, because it's Yahweh who gave them the authority to do this destruction. So after all of that, we can throw the Trinity away, and that is a simple explanation for these verses in Genesis. How about that?
it doesn't follow, because when after Abraham spoke to the Lord after the argument, that if he finds can you go back to that verse, that if you can find 10 people, so where did the Lord go to after
Hmm?
their discussion? Where did the Lord go to? Because
No,
he
it
said the
doesn't
Lord
say.
went there. Yeah,
No,
let's go
no,
to verse and see.
no, because he verse
Uh,
33 says, "And the Lord went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place." Yeah, and notice, see, we're reading here, when we're reading
no,
these verses above, yeah,
he said Abraham was, the Lord said, if he finds, he said, and the Lord said unto me, oh, let not the Lord go. Okay. I said, good, I have taken upon me to speak on the Lord, which I will speak to a convention. No, don't scroll, just leave there. I want to say, yeah, you go down again. I want to show you where the
mm,
Lord himself, that if he finds 10 people there, so the Lord is going there. He said, if he finds 10 people there,
mm,
he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
yeah,
Yeah, that is the Lord is going there. He is going there. He said, if I find in Sodom and 50 righteous within, that is verse 26. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. So the Lord went on his way. That the way the Lord went, because first verses I've told you where the Lord is going to. The Lord said, if he find in Sodom, if he goes there and find 50 righteous within his state, then he will spare them. So the previous verses I've told you where the Lord is going. So now in that someone, so because what you are explaining now is saying that the Lord gave authority to the angels. So now you are saying that the writer of this Genesis now is now referring to those other subordinate angels as Lord, because he said the Lord sent down fire and brimstone out of the Lord, from the Lord of heaven. So if you are saying that you are saying the writer is ascribing, excuse me, that is referring to those subordinates as the Lord. No, it doesn't go well. Your explanation doesn't go well, because right from the previous time, very clear, the Lord said that if I find the sort of 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. Then he said the Lord went on his way. If you put two and two together, plus the next verse, he said the Lord rained down brimstone and fire. So it shows you that the Lord was going there. The Lord was going there.
Right, but are the angels telling the truth?
Yes, they accompany the Lord, but he didn't say the angels send down fire and brimstone from heaven. He said the Lord. So yes, they are telling the truth. They are accompanying
Right.
the Lord, but he didn't say that the angels bring down fire and brimstone from the Lord. He said the Lord.
Yeah, but remember, the angels said that they were sent to destroy it.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling you. That if if you have the Lord sending another person, which is also identified as the Lord, so you said they send them to destroy. They are accompanying this. They accompany this Lord.
Yeah,
So I don't know
they're
if
accompanied.
you okay, if you are saying if the angels are lying, so are you saying the scripture is lying? Because the scripture says that the Lord. So yeah, that is what I'm saying. If you read it the way I read it, you are contradicting scripture. Because now you are saying,
No,
okay, that means it's not the actually sent the fire, it's not the Lord, that
no,
is the angel. Is that what you are
no. It's the Trinitarians who are wrong. The Bible is fine.
saying? The Bible, no, there is nothing, no train. The Bible, is it the Trinitarian? I don't understand what you mean by Trinitarian. He said, for the Lord sends down fire and brimstone. I don't understand how that will be the Trinitarians are wrong.
No,
You keep
because
highlighting.
when
Go on, go
all
on.
right, yeah, all right. So this I had to explain this to another Trinitarian because they seem to get confused about when God gives someone authority. And let me just go to, because you might find this one
Can you
confusing, but we have. Hmm?
can you just pause right for a second? I want to read that 13 all the way through 14 to show you how this for to show you how your understanding is. I won't say you are intentionally doing it, but it will make the scripture sound contradictory. From 13, it said, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. Then 14,
Hmm.
and Lot went and spake unto his sons in law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of the place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son. You see, the angels you see here now, if you read it the way if you interpret it the way you interpret it, you are accusing the Bible of lying, not
No,
the Trinitarians. Because if it tells you that the Lord has sent the angel to destroy, and he also said the Lord will destroy, so you should know that if they are coming together, because now you are saying, asking me, are the angels lying? So okay, now let me ask you, is Lot lying when Lot said that is the Lord that will destroy the city? So that argument doesn't hold. You're asking me, are the angels lying? So my question back to you, is Lot lying when Lot said that for the Lord will destroy this city? So I don't know how to, just the way, like, I don't think you will have an answer. You won't tell me that Lot is lying, and I won't tell you that the angel is lying. So that cancels each other out.
right. So what the problem is right. So, no, see what the
Because
problem is. That,
a lot.
you know. Hmm? No. What the problem is that you haven't like read enough of the rest of the Bible to see how the way that people operate when God sends them to do or allows them to do something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Job chapter 2, and then start from verse 1. It says, again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. The where God is saying there, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause, well, what does that mean?
What verse is that? The
No, that's
last verse
verse
you just
3.
read.
Verse
Verse 3.
3.
And the Lord said, "And thou convert the son of like, what was the question? I don't understand the question.
No, so God is saying, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. So who moved God against Job to destroy him?
Who moved? Yeah, saying who moved God?
Yeah. Who moved God against Job?
Can you repeat the question again?
No, it's the verse is there in front of you. You just read it, haven't you? It's just straightforward text. You can read it in any translation you want.
I don't understand
Let's
how
try.
it's
All
saying
right,
that
let's try another let's
God
try another
to destroy.
translation. Because what it is, it could just be that because the way it's written. So let's see. All right, so this is I think this is NL. New King James. So the verse 3 says, Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil, and still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without cause. So who incited God against Job? Still no?
I don't like. I won't say. Devil.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay now.
no,
Okay, I now get your question. Cites God against Job.
Job. Yeah.
So I'm not going to say that I know that. So I want you now to give me your point and relate it to that, the angels and Lot. Like, what is the point here now? What is your point? Because I won't say it.
Right.
I don't want to say it. I
Right.
don't know what I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah. All right. So the point is simple. So God is saying that someone incited, uh, or incited God to do something against Job. So if we now go back to Job 1, we can see who did the inciting, isn't it? It's pretty straightforward.
like what I don't understand. Like, how does it relate to what you were saying? You asked me, are the angels lying when they say that they
No,
want to?
no.
Then me, I asked.
Yeah. Let me read this, and how it's linked is pretty straightforward. So this is Job 1 and 8, and it says, Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? So Satan answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power, only do not lay a hand on his person. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. So after reading that, who was it who uh, incited God against Job?
I don't think he incited God. I just think God, like I think he said, but now
Hmm?
stretch your hand and touch what he has. And the Satan told God, Satan in verse 11, He said, but now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. So he told God to stretch out to to touch on that. Then he said, and the Lord replied to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Do not lay hands, do not lay a hand on his person. So that means it was not God that even lay his hands on Job. It was he now
Yeah.
told Satan that it's your power, it's not I don't have to do it. It's already in your power. So now you do what you want to do, but don't touch him on the person. So I don't think Satan incited God to 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 to
Yeah. Yeah.
make
Yeah.
suffer.
I know. So let me explain now. So what you just read there
Yeah,
shows you that if God tells someone to do something, then then God will then say as if he did it. That's all it means. When God tells someone to do
if
something,
God,
that
God
means that
tells someone to
that person is doing it as God now.
do it as God now. So are you telling me that when God tells someone to do something, then that person will now be referred to as God, as Yahweh? So is it right to say
No,
now
no,
and
no,
call say
no, no. Whatever they do, it's God that did it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying now. Like in this explanation now. So will you say that now if we want to say that Satan incited, so now we can refer to Satan as Yahweh. Like if you the logic doesn't follow. Like from what we were saying in the first place, it doesn't follow. Because I think I'm getting the gist of it. You say God asks somebody to do something, then that person does it. It's just as if it's God doing it.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
can, but no, the Bible will emphatically tell, like you said now, like you said, and the Lord said to Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power, is in your power. But he didn't hear now, like the other verse, he didn't say now, and the Lord, he didn't say now, and Yahweh, and Yahweh laid his hand on Job, what am I saying? Yes, on Job. In that other verses they read in the first part, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. The capital letter LOHD, is that Yahweh or Jehovah, right?
Which verse?
No, like anywhere, like in the Old Testament, the capital, like in this verse 8 now, when it says then the Lord, capital LORD, that is always like Yahweh, but is always changed because of the respect or something like that. Just in this same
Uh,
place.
yeah, no, normally,
Because
yeah,
what I'm trying to say, what I'm saying that in the later chapter we read now, what you are now trying to
mm,
say that if God sends somebody to do something and those people do it, so now we can refer to them as Lord, as Yahweh. It doesn't follow. It doesn't follow. I
no,
believe when
no,
Yahweh does,
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can say that it's God that did it. That's my point. So when those angels, God told them to go and do the destruction. So when they do the destruction, you could say that it's Yahweh who actually did the destruction. That's all I'm saying.
when Yahweh rain down fire and bishop from heaven, so you are saying that's the angel, not Yahweh.
Yeah, yeah, because the angels would be lying otherwise. I'm not going to say that the angels are lying, am I?
So are you going to say that Lot is lying?
Hmm?
So are you going to say that Lot is lying when he says the Lord?
No. Any remember, if God can do it himself or he can send someone to do it, and in both either case it's Yahweh. Simple.
No, no. What I'm saying is that you are bringing like another interpretation because Yahweh already I said Job told Abraham that when he goes there and he finds 10 people that he will not destroy it. Yahweh
Yeah.
told Job to Abraham. So that's your explanation. You are how will I say it? You are excluding or you are neglecting the part where Yahweh says he's going to do it himself, where Lot says Yahweh is going to do it, and where the writer also says that Yahweh did it. because I don't think the writer is going to refer to the angels as Yahweh.
Hmm.
I don't think that he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to
Yeah,
do that.
but no, but remember, God can do it himself. But if he gives someone the order or gives them the permission to do it, then that's still him doing it. So it works both ways. So what I'm basically saying is, the Trinitarians, they've messed up the way people talk about this Genesis 18 and 19. So if we got rid of the Trinity, people would just understand it as a normal text, and then they could just use Job 1 and 2 as a reference, and then everyone will understand it, no problem. But the
Okay, now
Trinity
let me
came
get your point.
along.
Are you saying now? Are you saying now that Yahweh didn't have anything, like he wasn't there to actually involve in the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? That's what you're trying to say, that it's the angels that did it, not Yahweh. But Yahweh sent them down. Yahweh didn't have hand in it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he gave the order, so because he gave the order, it counts as him doing it, regardless of who did
That
it.
doesn't.
Even if Satan, if God said to Satan, "Go and destroy God Sodom and Gomorrah," and he destroyed it, then yeah, Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Simple.